In today's video topic, we're going over my top 5 Criterion titles I would actually take to a deserted island that I think would be helpful on a deserted island, but are also just great Criterion movies. And then I'm going to give you 5 Criterion titles that are probably better served as firewood on that deserted island. That way you can stay warm at night because these Criterion movies are just not that good. So we're going to get into these recommendations here. But first, if you love collecting physical media, Criterion, or any other boutique label, you are in the right spot, my mega collecting friend. Go ahead and mega blockbuster that like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you're alerted when more Criterion videos post. Leave in the comments below what Criterion titles would you take to a deserted island. But let's get into the list of bangers here. Starting with those 5 recommendations to take to a deserted island. And first up, the most obvious choice is going to be Triangle of Sadness. Yes, you got to have this one for your deserted island, right? So picture this. You're on a giant ship, you're having a great cruise, but then it goes down. And now you got all these people that ended up on a deserted island. Well, how are things going to work? Well, you need to watch Triangle of Sadness to know that, because basically social class systems change on a deserted island. Doesn't matter how much money you have on a deserted island, you need survivor skills, right? You need to know how to be able to make a fire. You need to know how to be able to fish or gather certain important things on a deserted island. So Triangle of Sadness really shows that, yeah, you better learn some skills in your life, buddy. Can't just rely on the moolah, okay? So that's what I like about Triangle of Sadness. It is a longer movie. The first third is like a little dialogue heavy, like let's go, let's go. But once you get into that second third of the movie, it really picks up, especially, they get on that island. You're like, oh my gosh, things are changing here. What would I do if I was on a deserted island? Oh my gosh, I better start practicing some skills now. So really good social commentary for Triangle of Sadness, a great 4K disc. Everything looks and sounds amazing, really awesome special features. So if you're a Criterion collector and you plan on getting stranded on a deserted island, I think you need to watch some Triangle of Sadness beforehand and bring this along. All right, next up, we're going to have, of course, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, right? Wes Anderson title. This one, you need to know about the aquatic life surrounding the desert or deserted island, right? You got these wild, different kind of sharks maybe out there. I mean, you go swimming in the ocean, you're like, oh my gosh, you need to know about the aquatic life, because what are you going to do if you're attacked by this random shark in here, right? So that's why this one's important. But Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is really fun. Oh my gosh, if you're a Wes Anderson fan, you're gonna like this movie. A lot of dark comedy in here. Of course, you have a great cast. I mean, Wes Anderson, he just gathers amazing cast for all of his movies. So, Bill Murray, Owen Wilson in there, and so many more. But yeah, I just like the fun aquaticness to this whole movie. Like I said, you got to be a Wes Anderson fan for this one, but I laughed quite a few times in this movie. And I love how it's like documentary style. That's what makes this Wes Anderson title different. It's like, okay, they're actually like, playing this as it's a documentary, and they're trying to go after this rare wild shark. And and they get into all sorts of shenanigans, of course, like on any adventure. So Life Aquatic, you got to get this one. This one is actually quite a good time. So yeah, gonna help you on a deserted island, and yeah, just get you better prepared, I think, for that aquatic life out there. All right, next up, we are going to have Defending Your Life. Yes, this is really important, because how long are you going to last on that deserted island? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe your survival skills aren't that great. We tried to prepare, but maybe they weren't so good. So, hey, you never know. You might end up in Judgment City. So you got to know how to defend your life, because if you don't, you know where you're going, right? You ain't going to go up, you're going to go down. And so you got to know how to defend your life. So yeah, Defending Your Life is an awesome Albert Brooks title. It's a hilarious, once again, kind of like dark comedy in a way, but this one's a romantic comedy, which is really good. I mean, you have Albert Brooks starring in this one, of course, but then you also have Meryl Streep, I believe, if I'm not mistaken there. I think that's the romance in this one. But I just love seeing Judgment City and the way it looks, and it's really creative. Like, you can eat all this food and not gain any weight. Like, it's just interesting being in Judgment City, and then just once again to see how like these court cases play out, and how this poor guy tries to defend his life. I mean, like I said, dark comedy gold there. Really entertaining if you're an Albert Brooks fan. So defending your life, like I said, I think it's going to get you prepared for the worst of the worst that could happen on a deserted island. So yeah, great Criterion title. Really enjoyed this one. Gets a lot of rewatches for me too. All right, next up, we are gonna have ooh, the in-laws, yes. Okay, you never know who you're gonna run into on this island, or once again, who you bring onto the island. So maybe once again, you're on that cruise ship, you brought a lot of the family, you brought the in-laws with you, and now you're gonna have to deal with them on that island. Shoot, you better know how to deal with them though, because if not, shenanigans can happen, and what's gonna happen? What's gonna be the confrontations there? So you got to know how to deal with the in-laws. As simple as that. But this is a really fun Criterion title. Plus, they go to different places in this one. They actually end up in Honduras, a lot more tropical, right? So, yeah, that's going to help prepare you for a deserted island, I would think, right? So, just going to a new place, you got to be prepared for that. You're going to a deserted island. And once again, it's an easy watching comedy, a very fun, entertaining, really like this one. So, I mean, it's perfect to watch on the deserted island, but will also get you prepared for that different environment of being on the deserted island. Plus, if you're with your in-laws you brought along on that cruise ship, you guys all went down. Now you're all on the island together. Well, you gotta know how to deal with these people. You gotta know how to do it. As simple as that. So, the in-laws, another good, fun Criterion recommendation that doesn't get talked about a whole lot these days. So, underrated one there too. All right, next up, you're going to have Night of the Living Dead. Yes. Well, what happens if there are zombies on this deserted island? Like it's deserted, meaning no human population anymore, besides who you bring along. But could be zombies on there? Maybe it's a possibility. But not only that, let's say, okay, there's no zombies, right? We're being more realistic. There's not going to be no zombies, right? Well, keep this in mind. This movie still helps you prepare because these a group of people basically what they have to do is they have to defend themselves from these. Once again, they're zombies, but maybe on the island for you, it's like some monsters coming after you, like animals and stuff. And you got to be able to defend yourself, use your resources, see what you have lying around, and that's what they do in Night of the Living Dead. I mean, they really kind of look around their environment and say, okay, how are we gonna defend ourselves? How are we gonna protect ourselves from this aggressiveness outside here? And you're gonna have to do that on a deserted island because once again, deserted meaning no human population already there. But once again, other stuff, those animals, they be coming after you. They go chomp, chomp, chomp. You're like, oh my gosh, I gotta defend myself here on this island. So I think Night of the Living Dead is also very helpful in preparing you, but also great movie. Absolutely love this movie. I mean, it looks great in the 4K and sounds amazing too, by the way. Awesome special features, but a really good zombie movie where it's like, yeah, it was a low budget movie, but it doesn't feel that way. It's very intense, very thrilling, edge of your seat. You gotta have Night of the Living Dead. Great Criterion title. All right, so now let's get into the 5 Criterion titles I'd probably rather use as some firewood, right? To keep myself warm at night on this deserted island, right? Maybe we got a large crew there. We got to keep everybody warm, so we need some firewood, okay? And so, yeah, you're going to have some wildlife, right? Wildlife. What is this one about? Well, okay, I thought this movie was going to be awesome because it's supposed to be about, Jake Gyllenhaal going off to fight some wildfires. I mean, it's going to be perfect for our, firewood, right? But really wasn't that at all. I was actually quite disappointed because it doesn't show you much of like wildfire fighting, which was really a bummer. It's more of a drama, like a failed family marriage kind of story where it's like, yeah, as he goes off, there's obviously issues, right, with him and his wife and kid, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so sad. But I'm like, I thought it was gonna be cool, wildfire fight in action. Thought we were gonna be kind of like Backdraft, and it was not that at all. So, uh, just did not really care for this one. Don't need this one on Criterion, right? You don't need to pay the pretty penny for this one. So wildlife, right? It deals with some kind of fires in here. Well, now it's going to be used to keep us warm on the deserted island. So yes, wildlife, you're going into the Firewood pile for Criterion. All right, next up, we're gonna have some Charade. Once again, we need Firewood, guys. I had to pick something, but I'm gonna tell you why I picked Charade, because even though this is a pretty good darn mystery thriller, almost like a Hitchcock movie. I mean, you got Audrey Hepburn and Cary Grant in this one. The movie's pretty darn good for a classic movie, but you don't need the Criterion edition at all. You don't need this one. Like, you're paying overpriced for nothing because you're not getting any special features added in here. So why not just get like the standard Blu-ray for way cheaper? Like, there's no point just to have it in a thicker Criterion case to take up more space on your shelf. Like, there's no point to get a Criterion edition of Charade. So why I still like the movie, I just, I mean, might as well use it for Firewood, and then later on I'll get a standard Blu-ray for cheaper, right? So there we go. Charade is going into the Firewood pile. Yep. All right, next up, we're gonna have, now this might cool the fire down, but maybe we got something here. We got chilly scenes of winter. Yeah, ooh, okay. So why are we putting this in the Firewood pile? Why? I was pretty kind of disappointed with this title pickup. So yeah, I don't really need this one. Once again, it's more of a drama, like an off romance kind of story where it's like more dramatic, like, oh my gosh, people are miserable and stuff. And you're just like, why do I need this one? Why do I need this one? You know what? It's gonna be winter sometime on the island. It's gonna get cold. We're gonna need the firewood. So chilly scenes of winter. I've known people to recommend this one before. It's really if you want like a drama and a failed kind of romance story. Once again, like wildlife, which I just don't feel like the rewatchability is there. So you don't need this one on Criterion. You can always, preview it one and done beforehand. I mean, yeah, you just don't need the Criterion of chilly scenes of winter, in my opinion. So yeah, it's going in the firewood pile. Bye bye. Bye bye. You're gonna keep us warm in the winter now. That's what you're gonna do. All right, next up, we're gonna have Blood Simple. Yeah. Sorry, Coen Brothers. You gotta get this into the firewood pile too. I'm gonna tell you why. So a lot of people were hyping this movie up for some reason. I don't know why. I watched it and I'm like, it's pretty darn simple. Even the Coen Brothers, when I was watching the special features, they were like, "Oh yeah, this movie was a mess. We didn't know the right cameras to use." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you guys don't even like the movie. Why am I gonna like it?" But I'll just say it's just a low Dollar Tree budget kind of like No Country for Old Men movie. Like, if you want to see like this kind of like Western cat and mouse game, see No Country for Old Men. And every time I talk to people about this movie and they say they like it, I start naming off other Coen Brothers movies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I like that other one more. I like that other one more. I like that other one more." So you like all the other ones way more than this one, then why the heck am I paying big Criterion bucks for Blood Simple? Well, there's no point. There is no point for this one. I could have just got a regular standard Blu-ray if I wanted to see it for way cheaper than, buying this 4K. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd rather just watch No Country for Old Men if I want that kind of style of movie. That one executes a lot better than this one. This one, once again, very shaky in terms of a technical aspect. And yeah, so Blood Simple, like I said, a little too simple for me, but you're going to be used as firewood now on the deserted island. So there you go. Firewood pile. Woo! All right. Next one. We got to seal in this fire. We got to seal it in, make it a big fire. That's going to be the seventh seal. Yep. Ingmar Bergman. Oh, man. Ooh, hoo, hoo. I was recommended this title early on in my Criterion collecting days, and these were the days I was naive. I didn't know. I'm like, oh, okay. So people said they liked it. I'm gonna go pay the top dollar for it. And no good on this one, guys. No, it's boring. This movie is so darn boring, will bore you to tears. Now, I will say it had some promise in the beginning. I'm like, okay, you got like death there. There's a chess game. Could be an interesting thinking kind of movie. But then it goes off the rails and nowhere, and the same time flat. It's just boring. Old school black and white movie, foreign language film. nonsensical as well, mixed with the boring. And by the end of it, I'm like, what the heck did I just watch? I watched the special features to try to learn more, and I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm done with this one. I'm done with it. I'm never going to rewatch it again. We're going to use that as firewood on the deserted island. We are sealing in that fire with the seventh seal. Going to caution a lot of people who are just getting into Criterion. Be really cautious on this one. Like I said, do your research on your Criterion titles before you pay top dollar. Even during sale month, it can be a little pricey still. Just because it's once again, not mainstream enough, not for everybody, and not gonna get the rewatchabilities out of my firewood pile. So that's why we're gonna have a nice little firewood pile on my desert island, ready to go to keep us warm at night. But there we go, guys. Once again, those were 5 that I think will help you for a deserted island. I think are decent enough watches, and then 5 that I'm like I'm over with. Once again, we're gonna have that as firewood instead. But there you go. Those are just my thoughts. I know a lot of you guys would disagree out there. Gotta hear your guys' opinion down below. Once again, what would be 5 recommendations there for the deserted island? 5 that you could care less about, and that will go into the firewood pile. Gotta have those movie conversations down below. Let's share with each other, and let's talk about why we like some of these movies. Maybe you guys can convince me on some of these ones that I wasn't too fond of. But we'll talk down below. Of course, if you haven't already, once again, go ahead and make a blockbuster, that like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you're alerted when a new Criterion or physical media topic posts. And of course, I do have a lot of Criterion videos already on the channel, guys. So you can look at all these different recommendations and rankings and all this different stuff. I'm gonna have it in a playlist for you guys, so you guys can click on another Criterion video right now. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters. If you love talking and collecting movies, consider joining the Mega League of Film Fans through memberships to support content creation while gaining access to perks like shoutouts, exclusive videos, and future topic choices.